All right, people, live, uncut, unedited. Come on in, come on in, come on in. We're live, uncut, unedited, coming to you. I'm in the car today. It's our little lunch break. We're talking today. What's going on, people? What's going on? What's going on? This is live, uncut, unedited. Tell the truth. Shame the devil. Man, we was up. We did 4 hours last night. We went over in the midnight hour. Um, People, man, we had a great discussion last night. We were finding out what happened to the meeting over on 71st Street. But come on in, people. This is live, uncut, unedited. I'll wait till a few more come in before I get started. Coming live from the south side of Chicago. This is live, uncut, unedited, people. Appreciate you guys tuning in. It's one of my lunch specials. I promise you I won't be long. It's been a long night. Long night. 4 hours live last night. 4 hours, people. Live and uncut, unedited. Letting our people express themselves. No other community activists or podcaster going to allow people that they don't know, random people that they don't know anything about, to come on this show and speak live. I'm the only one, to my knowledge, that is doing that. I'm trying to give a voice to the voiceless. Real talk. Come on in, people. Come on in. This live from Chicago, live uncut, unedited, live uncut. All our resources are being ate up by the immigrants. All in the name of some of you Nigerians out there believe that uh, Negroes don't want to work. All y'all, some of y'all believe that. They have set up propaganda on us to believe that we don't want to work. That don't describe all of us. Maybe a small portion of us don't want to work, but it certainly don't describe all of us. As I always say, we built this country with our hands, free labor. Even to right now, today, in 2024, there are businesses, banks that have been renamed, railroad companies that have been renamed, have benefited from the slave trade. We didn't migrate. We didn't. There's a bird or some antenna. We didn't migrate from another country. We migrated from the south to the north, looking for work. Looking for work. Now, if you take in mind, in the 1800s, they was hiring a lot of foreigners, immigrants, white immigrants, labor. They didn't want to look in their own backyard and pull from what they had. And we seeing that same spirit right now rising up that we fought against 100 and some years ago, over a century ago. And we're fighting against that same spirit right now. All disparities. Black people, I remember when the migrants first came here. First of all, let me just say this. Since Lori Lightfoot left office, they came in mass numbers. We have spent, this state, over $1 billion. $1 billion, people. $1 billion on the migrants crisis. Now imagine spending $1 billion on the south and the west side of Chicago, where predominantly black people live. Imagine that, people. Just imagine that. What impact that would have on our declining communities. Now, take in mind, there are 77 communities here in the city of Chicago. All the communities that are white, predominantly white, they are thriving. And those communities that are predominantly black, they are on a decline, going downhill. Is that by is that by design? Is it because black people are lazy? Is it because black people don't want to work? Is it because black people are not educated? Is it because black people don't care? What is it? Or is it a part of the system? White supremacy have a design that we fail. There's what you called cause and effect. What is causing the effects in our areas? What is causing the gangs to uprise? What is causing our youth to gun each other down? What is causing our youth snatching and grabbing? What is it? What is the cause of our poor conditions in our area? What is the cause? Now you got to remember, black people, when our ancestors, our African ancestors, were brought over here or sold into slavery, made to be slaves, they didn't have no option to make money. Their labor was free. They auctioned them off on auction blocks and sold to the highest bidder. I'm talking about black, melanoid, African zoid, whatever you want to call it, African people, our ancestors. Now, there's no comparison to that, to the migrants. First of all, the migrants that's coming to this country. What's up? What's up? All right, all right. The migrants that's coming to this country right now are giving things. We was made to start with nothing. With nothing. We started from ground zero. They are being handed homes. They are pushed to be educated. Remember, black people, it was against the law for us to read and write. They took away our God. They took away our language. They made us speak their language. They took away our diet. They made us eat their diet. Now, take in mind, now, if you want to compare us to the migrants, now the migrants came over here. Let's talk about the Ukrainians first. Now, none of them laid in the shelters, police shelters or police stations. They also are receiving Social Security where they didn't put nothing in. This is migrants now. Now, compare that to our plight, black people plight. What did we get? What did we get? We got nothing. When Lincoln so-called freed the slaves, all right, we didn't have nothing. Only thing we had what was on our backs. We didn't have no land, no money, no nothing. No resources was given to us at all. At all. And remember, we was forced to come over here. The migrants was asked to come over here, and they was promised things. What you talking about things, man? Resources, work, housing. What do we get? We got nothing. We had to work for everything we got. And another question to my bougie black brothers and sisters that have made it under the system, which is a very small few of us, but the masses are lost, are left behind. Now, if you're so smart and you're so intelligent, Why are your people still in the rut that they're in? Why can't you help your people? Some of our richest people, and not necessarily celebrities, they don't live in the community. They don't shop in the community. They don't care about the community. And they look down on the community. Y'all see it. We see some of our celebrities when they open up businesses, they open up in the white community. When they come in, have their charities, they do it in the white community. When they build their schools, they build it in the white communities most of the time or out of the country. Now we see these things. Now I'm not lying on them. Somebody correct me if I'm wrong. I don't want to lie on nobody. I want to tell the truth and shame the devil. Now, I'm not saying that every celebrity becomes a millionaire, becomes rich and famous, that they owe the black community anything. That's their money. But wouldn't it behoove you to reach back and help someone outside of your immediate family? Some of our celebrities that are black, they don't even socialize with their own family at all. So I want to tell the migrants that's migrating to this country and to the city of Chicago. Now I'm hearing that they dropped off a bus load yesterday. So people, do not be fooled that the migrants have stopped coming here to the city of Chicago. That's a lie. They're doing it on the low, on the down low. They're sneaking them in. And some of your politicians and some of your city workers that look like you and I are afraid to tell us within believing they'll be retaliated against or lose their job. Some folks are not going to lose their job to warn their people about what's going on or give no information about what's going on. They're not going to do it. So people, never allow anyone, especially from another group of people that don't know our struggle, didn't walk didn't walk our struggle, and tell us that we're hating on another group of people. Not so. Not so. We were the ones that was made to sit on the back of the bus. We were the ones that was made to drink out a different water fountain. We were the ones was made to swim in separate beaches, separate pools, sleep in separate hotels, eat in separate restaurants. We were the ones. We were the ones that had to march on Washington for jobs and justice. And still in 2024, we're talking about jobs and justice. That's what we're talking about. No other group in mass numbers march with us. I'm talking about in mass numbers when it was time for black folks to get things. Everything that we got in this country, we had to fight hard for it. We had to march, we had to protest, we had to complain, we had to do what we had to do. This is a racist country. The system is racist. If it had not been, if it's not racist, why would we need the Fair Housing Act? Why would we need the Civil Rights Act? Why would we need that? Why would we need the Voting Act? Why would we need these things if it was fair, if it was just, if it was righteous? Because it's not. It's not fair. It's not right. It's not justice. Now, listen, as a black man or African American, as a Negro, whatever you want to call myself, listen, we have fought in wars in this country. We've died, we bled, got injured, and look how we're being treated in this country. Well, you said, well, Martin, if you don't like it, leave the country. No, we're going to fight like we always do. People, when white people give you things, you better beware of it because You know, white people do not give you things without a fight. Trust me, without a fight. There was nothing handed down to black folks. We had to argue, fuss, protest, march, beg, plead for everything that we have. And I believe one of the worst things we ever done in life when we integrated. I believe that was a big mistake. It may be, it may have been good for that time, but the after effects, look at our communities, devastating. Devastating. Look at us. Devastating people. We lived in racial tension back in the 40s, 50s, and the 60s, some 70s, but we had our own everything. We had cab companies, we had bus companies, we had cleaners, we had laundromats, we had gas stations, we had nightclubs, we had bars, we had all types of things in our communities. And we didn't have to go in no other community. We stayed right in our community. We lived in racial tension. Our marriage rate was up, but the moment we segregated, blended in with these other groups, and look at our situation now. Those of you that don't live here in the city of Chicago, I declare that you come and visit and look at some of these poor South Side areas, West Side areas. We have men and women that look like me and some of you, drug infested. They look like zombies. We have open air market drug sales. Excuse me. Open air market drug sales. We have it right here in the city of Chicago. We have a gang problem. We have a prostitution problem in our community. We have our failing politicians in our community. We have our get along, go along pastors in our community. We have it. We have a bunch of foreign owned businesses in our community that's robbing the community by blind with its overpriced groceries, overpriced gas. We have these things in our community. It's often been said that to other groups, if you want to get rich here in the United States, open up a business in the black community. Open up a business in the black community. I'm not talking to black people. I'm not talking about black people, but I'm talking about others. They come, they don't know how to read, they don't know how to write, but yet they get loans, they get money, they get housing, they get all these things to come in our community to flourish. And when they tell us, pull yourself up by your bootstraps. Don't you hear little testimonies like, man, my parents came over here, they was immigrants and they didn't have anything and they work hard, but they'd never tell you about how the government was passing out land and giving them property and giving them money, giving them loans, low interest loans, no loans that they don't have to pay back or grants. They never talk about that. They always talk about how hard they work. Listen, I challenge any group of immigrants on this live today. If you such a hard worker, why didn't you stay in your own country and build up, fight the system that's oppressing you and stay there? Why didn't you do that? I'm almost willing to bet some of you immigrants going across the board, not just Venezuelans, all across the board, a lot of your people that live in your country have no respect for you leaving the country. None. They look at you guys as weak, scary, all that. No one respects a coward. One thing you can say about black people, we didn't ask to come here, and I believe, and history has proven that we were here already, but those of us that was brought here against our will or tricked here, we didn't migrate in another country. We didn't go to Russia, Ukraine. We didn't go to Asia. We didn't even go to Africa. We stood here and fought the oppression of this system and still fighting it right now today. We have been sabotaged more than any group of people in this country. And we're still here. They have set up abortion clinics for black people, population control. They have done the Tuskegee experiment on our people. They have done the mass incarceration. They have done the war on drugs. They have done the Jim Crow. They have also made it where we couldn't read or write, that it was against the law. But look at us. We're still here. We're still thriving. We're still fighting against a system that's always trying to find a way to keep us down. If you look at black people and all the things that they brought to this country, all the inventions that we do know about and the ones that we don't know about, where would this country be without black people? Listen, people, when you hear that stuff that say black people money don't stay in the community but only 6 hours, we don't have nothing in our community to put our money at. All the black businesses very small and few far between. Then most of us, we shop for convenience. We don't shop to think about to strengthen the group. Now, a lot of us here in America are doing great. We're homeowners, we're business owners, we're politicians, we're lawyers, we're doctors, we're tradesmen, but the majority of us are left behind. There are only a few Oprahs, there are only a few Obamas, period. We have been made the face of crime. If you, black people and white people, every time a crime takes place and you think of a black person in your mind, you have been brainwashed, you have been indoctrinated. If we were to sit people in front of the TV and on social media, you would think black people are the only ones out here killing themselves or doing crime or hurting people, robbing and stealing. What about the ones with the suit and the tie that's stealing, with the pen and the piece of paper? What about the 1% of the shot callers that line with the small print contracts where you can barely read it and understand it with the language that they write in? What about them? Stealing, scamming, scheming. What about them? Well, this is just lunchtime, and I just want to keep educating my people, tell them don't be discouraged, keep fighting, keep hope alive, be positive, and don't let no other group of people, even these second generation of immigrant children, tell us that we don't deserve reparation. And I'm not on here promoting Republican or Democrat. That's your choice, whatever you want to vote for. But whoever you vote for, ask them a question. What's in it for the black people? Where are where are the policy for black people? I'm not talking about the policies that send black people to jail. I'm talking about the policies that make black people progress and prosper in this country. That's what I'm talking about. We need to see more policies like that to make sure that we get ours. And so, Mr. Immigrant, children, second and third generation, whatever you want to call yourselves, the newly arrived immigrants, America have lied to you. They have told you that we're lazy. But what America didn't tell you, that they're racist. They have a lot of hate toward black people. They make it difficult for black people. They may not be hanging us on a tree like they used to, but they're lynching us on these jobs. They're discriminating against us from buying homes. They're discriminating against us for getting business loans. They're discriminating against us buying a house. But they would never mention that to you. They are afraid of you guys connecting with us. So what they do, they educate you guys about us. Don't mingle with the black people. They're lazy. They don't want nothing. They had their chance of. We tired of giving them money. That's what they tell you guys. They tell you all that. But they didn't tell you that we worked for 400 years for free. They didn't tell you that, which you probably don't care, no way. All you're concerned about is resources, and I don't blame you because that's not your fight. But I'm letting you know, you're not coming in the black community and take over, and we're going to fight tooth and nails to get what's ours in this country. That's what we're going to do. We're not going to lay down on the battlefield. We're not going to be lured to sleep with no slow church singing songs. We're not going to be lured to sleep by our celebrities, basketball, sports athletes, musicians, comedians. They are not going to lure us to sleep. And we're not going to pretend like everything is so great here in America for black people. We're not going to go for that anymore. And we're not going to vote for a party just because you feel majority of us is in that party. Ask the Democratic Party, what have you done for us lately? As a group, ask the Republican Party, what have y'all done for us lately? As a group, what are your plans to do? All right, people. That's enough. Thank you for sharing your little lunch with me. I appreciate you. This is your boy Martin G, aka the Crime Chaser. Y'all know what it is.